Hi, 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 fashion dolls. It is Fierce Female Friday, July 2nd, and welcome to an all-new episode. This is born in the suburbs of Chicago. He is an entertainer, he's an actor, and so many more. Joining me today, we have Christopher J. Love, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm super excited to be doing this interview with him. Make sure you guys share this live. 4 p.m. we will be going live with our guest co-host for this week, Marcus, to discuss the topics. I need you guys to tune in for that. Share this live and let everyone know this Out by Stevie talk show is on. Let me go on ahead and send this live to him. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I hope you guys are doing excellent today. Hi, Sky. Hi, Mel. I hope you guys are doing awesome. Today's show is sponsored by, we got to get into our sponsors. The show is sponsored by Exclusive Beauty Hair Store. Make sure you guys go and check out Exclusive Beauty. Check out the newest makeup collection for women of color, Lush Mahogany. We have everything from eyeshadows, lipsticks, and more. And as you guys can see, I've been digging in it. Make sure you guys also go and check out the lip glosses as well, too. We've got lip glosses. We've got lipsticks. And we've got beauty blenders. Everything to make yourself look as beautiful as I am. And the look of the week is up, so make sure you guys go and vote for your favorite look of the week. It's 5 looks, so make sure you guys go and check that out. Yesterday we had Emmy Award-winning actor, producer, and yoga instructor Kiko Ellsworth. That was such an amazing conversation. That show lasted for at least 3 hours. Delicious popped in. So make sure you guys go and check it out. And without further ado, our very special guest is here. Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher J. Love. So let me add him in. I love you too, Sky. Thank you so much for coming through and showing me some love, brother. And Sky, which reminds me, Sky's going to be in the newest Assistant 2 Reconnected. The trailer is in my story, so if you've seen it, make sure you guys go and check it out. Oh, thank you. Yes, it says Queen. All right. So, welcome to the show, my love. Welcome to the doghouse.
Hello, what's up?
I am doing excellent. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Staying busy and just enjoying life. I can't complain.
All right. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this interview. So I was doing a little bit of research, and you started playing sports as a teenager. You began a college career playing basketball and football. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, I started playing basketball. I was about 5 years old when I started organized basketball, and it's funny. I grew up my entire life thinking I was going to be in the NBA, thinking I was going to be a hooper, right? Just played high school, throughout college, and things like that. But my junior year of high school, the football coach, I went to school where my dad worked as well, right? Football coach came into the office, and he just looks at me. He's just like, "Yo, you play football?" I never had in my life. And he's like, "You should try out anyway." Try it out, and then 2 games later, I'm starting at cornerback on the team. And it's just funny because I played basketball all my life, but football was the thing that really clicked for me and actually helped get me through school.
Okay. And you grew up in the suburbs of Chicago.
Yes.
And your father and your uncle was your inspiration for you to get your foot sort of into the entertainment industry. So
yeah,
we know that. So who's some of your inspiration that you look up to as entertainers, whether it's music or actors? And if you could collaborate with one of them, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Well, my first inspiration, of course, first heroes are my parents, right? And my pops, who was an amazing singer as well, actually kind of sacrificed some career stuff when I was born. But that was a conscious choice, and then I'm just lucky where he puts a lot of that attention and effort into me and whatever I want to pursue. And then my uncle, who still is, but was a really, really good rapper as well, got me my first studio session at 7. And I was 7 years old, and I came in, right? I started early. 7 years old, came in, I did the hook on one of his songs. Just a few words here and there, and I'm pretty sure my dad still has that cassette tape locked away somewhere. So I'll be sure to find it and let you check it out.
Okay.
But to answer your other question too, I'm sorry. To collaborate with, As a director, I would love to collaborate with Viola Davis. She's probably hands down my favorite actor, period. Um, Musically, that's a tough one because there's so many people. But oh man, I would say even still, maybe I'm a little old school, but I still love to collaborate with Pharrell in any capacity. Whatever he wants to do, just let me know. We're gonna make it happen. So those would be two off at the top of my list for sure.
And let's fast forward since we're talking about music. You released your first independent album in my birthday month of October 2010, and it is titled Love Music. So tell us a little bit about that, the recording process. What was it like for you in the studio recording your own album for the very first time, knowing that you were younger, that this is something that you wanted to do?
It was a learning experience for sure. Before I used to work in corporate. I was working for Sam's Club doing business. I was in marketing, doing business-to-business marketing. I actually got an internship with them coming out of school, and then ended up getting a job right out of school. So even though I was very much into sports and pursuing the arts, I definitely chased the money because you offer, a 23-year-old kid a decent amount of money, you're going to go for it, right? So did that for a little bit, but then eventually ended up getting burned out. Just they treated me well. It was a great job, but I wasn't passionate about it. It didn't light my soul. You know what I'm saying? And I focus on things that, as they say, catch your soul on fire. You know what I mean? So I ended up shifting into music after that, doing a lot of, one of the clients of mine with Sam's Club, Walmart, all that stuff was a music studio that was, in there. So was talking to the guy, and I just kind of tossed in there. I'm like, yo, I do a little bit of music, sing, rap, a little bit, all that stuff. And he's like, yeah, okay, everybody's a rapper, right? So he's like, let me hear something. So I was able to let him hear something, and that changed their tune. They're like, yo, why are you working at Sam's? Like, come in the studio, come work with us. So we eventually worked it out where I was able to get there and work in that studio full time, started out with production and engineering, and then just decided to kind of take things into my own hands and put the album together. So the album was a learning experience. It was the first thing I ever put together. I enjoyed every bit of it. And as I mentioned my dad before, he was a big part of that as far as the support system putting that together as well. So I can't.
Okay. So it's good that you started off working into Sam's Club, because I've heard a story that there's a supermodel by the name of Kate Moss. She got discovered in a supermarket, so you never know where people can pick you up at talent. You never know who's watching. That's why even on my platform, people watch me, I have no idea. Kathy Ireland, after I did my interview with Vanessa Williams, she went back and watched it. I went back and I checked it. I was like, oh my God, I had no idea. So I'm always going back and checking because I always find out things last. So for you, because you also attended, is it Benedictine University and Cornell College, you attended 2 universities, and you received your bachelor's degree in business management. So after receiving this degree, throughout the process of getting it, what was it like for you going back to school? Because you've been to, three colleges?
Went to 2 separate colleges. Yeah, I did my freshman and my sophomore year at Cornell. So I went out there, grade school, went out there strictly for football, though, because I'm not going to lie, it's in the middle of nowhere. There wasn't much entertainment or anything going on out there, but they offered me money to play football, so I went. And I had 2 great years out there, making friendships that have been a lifetime so far. I still talk to a lot of them today. But then I ended up hurting my knee playing football my sophomore year. I tore my ACL. And that was the first time I had a chance to, it was not fun. But that was the first time I had a chance to sit down. And when you play collegiate sports, it's a full-time job. It's not just the season, it's literally year-round. And if you're not in season, you're in voluntary workouts. If you're not in voluntary workouts, you're in involuntary workouts where the coaches pop in, so it's technically voluntary, So that was my entire life for 2 years. And once that stopped, once there was no football, that's what gave me a chance to expand my mind and see what I was truly passionate about as well. So that's where I ended up putting more of an eye on entertainment. And as much as I loved my time in Iowa, which Cornell College is in Iowa, there wasn't much entertainment stuff going on there. So I made the jump back to a school that was closer to Chicago.
Okay. And some of your projects have been scores on soundtracks of some big films. So the writing process for you, I know every singer and songwriter has a process. What does music mean to you, and where do you pull and find your inspiration from?
Uh, Music is, I think, one of the highest forms of expression. You know, there's so much you can say, there's so much you can do within a song to evoke an array of emotions. And for people, myself included, who may not be the best with words in person, um, definitely let the music speaks louder than I ever could, you know? So the inspiration comes from, I know it's going to sound cliche, but it comes from life. It comes from, as a director, I love storytelling, right? And I feel like good songs, good albums have a thematic purpose and they actually tell a story. So whether it's working on soundtracks for films, I would literally insert myself on set before I really got rolling with film. I would insert myself on set, get the feel of the film from the people making it, and that helped me put together the soundtrack or work with the composer I was putting together the scores. So inspiration comes from everywhere.
You've also done the feature film, The Measures. You've appeared in numerous music videos. You've done some behind the scenes things. So what is it like being on set? You know, you went to college for this. You transferred over. You fast forward now. Now you're into the big leagues and you're on set and you hear the director say, okay, and go. So
Yes,
what is it like right now for you, you know, just being on set in that environment, in that lane for you? What is running through your mind? Like an adrenaline rush. What is it like?
it's since I stopped playing football, that has been because football was the camaraderie is or sports in general, not just football. The camaraderie is unmatched. The teamwork is unmatched. And I kind of take that same passion and that same energy and put that towards what we do in film. You know, so for me, it's not necessarily a competition like it is on the football field, but that same amount of passion goes into it, right? Where we get a certain shot, we shoot the way we get that perfect shot that we risked and we pulled it off. Is the equivalent to me scoring a touchdown, as far as I'm concerned, right? And it's a great adrenaline rush. It's fast paced, which I love. I don't know if you're in the zodiacs or astrology, but I'm a Gemini. I like
I'm a
everything to
Scorpio.
be changing. I like everything to be fast paced. I like everything to a certain extent to change every day. And that's the beautiful part about being on a film set is because it's the same in the sense of you're going on set and you have a camera and you're shooting. But every project and pretty much every other day of that project is going to be different, right? Where this project we're shooting a horror film and it's creepy and we have these actors and we have these sets. But then 2 weeks later we're shooting a commercial that has kids and we're at a park. Or next we're shooting action scenes, we're jumping out of a building. It always changes. And that's what keeps me active and that's what keeps me loving it.
Okay, let me take some comments and questions from the audience as well, too.
For
Let me
sure.
scroll up and see what I missed. Savvy A. Sue says, let's go, cousin. Let me
Hey.
go back up. Dave W. says, bro. And Mr. Laney, how are you, darling? Welcome to Style by Stevie Talk Show. I hope you guys are enjoying this interview with Chris. He does so many things. Oh my God. And just from that angle right there, he resembles Michael Strahan.
Oh, you don't know
Yeah,
how many times I've heard
yeah.
that.
It's the resemblance is so canny,
Yeah,
and I'm
I'll take it
catching
though. He's
with
a good
that a
looking
lot.
dude, so I'll take it.
Oh my goodness! So, what are 5 things that Chris can't live without?
Oh man, 5 things that I can't live without. Um, my this I'm gonna ball this into one. My family, my close friends, because very close relationship with my family, and then I have a very small, tight knit group of friends that basically are family as well. So that's one thing. Uh,
All right.
The second I want to combine them too is music and film. That's kind of a given because that's the breadth of expression, you know. The third thing is good whiskey. You got to have good whiskey no matter where you are. You know, you got to make sure you have it on deck because you never know. It's a celebration. It's like you got to have it. What's that? Three things? What are two other things? Two other things. My pup, I have a completely random story how I got it, but she's turning 12 this year, a 12-year-old Pekingese. And the smallest, loudest snoring dog ever. So that's my homie. He's been my partner for 12 years. Gotta have her. And I think the last thing, just because I love to travel and I love to get out, just give me a good car, nothing fancy that I can get everywhere, and I'll drive across the U.S. Doesn't matter. So I can see different things and move around. I think those are 5 things that I have to have.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know what time it is. It is time to turn the tables. So Chris here is going to ask me anything. It's called Turn the Tables, and I allow my guests to turn the tables on me and ask me any question they want to ask me. Nothing is off limits. Yesterday's episode was so phenomenal. We did it with Kiko Ellsworth from Port Charles, and he's worked alongside Martin Lawrence and Will Smith and Bad Boys 2, Emmy Award-winning actor. So shown that we had so much fun yesterday. So it's Chris's turn today, y'all. So Lord knows what he's going to ask me, but I'm ready for it. So
okay.
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, first of all, since the tables are turned, I'd like to welcome you all to the Chris Love Show. Our guest, we have Stevie here. And let me see. I'm gonna start out with something simple. But you know what? If you can have your own show on any network, streaming platform network, what would it be? And what would you call the show?
It will be Styled by Stevie, of course.
Okay.
And I will probably invent my own network when it gets up there. Because, you know, it's so some of these channels, I'm all about representation at the end of the day. And that's what I've been preaching for all this week is I want every Black person that is out here winning, that is talented, and has something to offer to succeed. So I will build my own network up, and it will be everybody, unapologetically Black, just for the culture, for this movement and this time. So definitely do that.
I dig that. What would you call the network?
Oh, it's so many names. I can't think of one off the top of my head. But I know it's definitely got to have Black in it. It can't be BET because BET is already taken.
They got that.
It would definitely be similar to BET, but it would be unapologetically Black. Like, I love Amanda Seales. I love people like Amanda Seales. I love people like Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, who are just unapologetically Black. And Michael Strahan, of course. So I'm not sure what I would call it, but I know I would love to have my own network and my show on the network, and it will be different shows from other content creators out here, Black YouTube content creators or whoever, just to have their own platform where they can showcase their talent, whether it's doing makeup, hair, nails, whatever your talent is, I want it to be represented.
You want to do it right. I love that. I love that. Let me think of another question. If you could be alongside, you know what? No, take that back. If you can go, I don't know your situation, but if you can go on a date with anybody, current, who would it be?
Famous, not famous, who are we talking about here?
Oh, we can get one of both, famous and not famous. I'll give you options. You're dating around, so you got options.
Oof. I would say, there's got to be somebody who's open-minded.
Okay.
Oh my God, there's so many people out here. He's so talented, and I love him dearly. I would say Lil Nas X, but it wouldn't be like a date like where we're dating romantically, but it would be like we're going out to hang out. So if it's something like that, then that's fine. I love his energy. I think he's extremely talented. So definitely Lil Nas X. Now, we're talking romantically. It will be
Uh-huh.
Shamar Moore. Because
Shamar
I'm
Moore.
looking at his picture. I'm looking at his picture right above my bed. So it will
Uh-huh.
definitely be Shamar Moore.
Speaking it into existence. I feel that.
Any more questions, you guys? I'm in the hot seat right now, and Chris is asking me questions. So definitely, yesterday I got grilled about the dating. I got who you dating. I'm single at the moment. I'm not attached to anybody, if you guys are wondering. So yes, a girl has to explore her options. That's right, delicious. Hashtag
You got
choices.
choices.
That's right. So my question to you is, where do you see yourself while we're in the process of me? I'm in the hot seat, and
Hmm.
people are forming their questions.
Hmm.
Where do you see yourself in the next few years? Because I see you working along some of the greats, the Aegis Elbas, the Will Smiths. So much for you in the future.
That's very kind. Thank you. That's the plan. That's the plan. Since day one, it's been a process of creating and controlling our own content. You know, from the beginning, I started getting into acting probably, excuse me, in 2015, and got lucky enough, got an agent, and started going on different auditions. And one thing that I noticed in these auditions is that I was going out for the same type of roles every single time. Um, and it was thug, musician, athlete, musician, thug, right? Which, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to complain. Work is work, and I'll take the work. But at the same time, I knew that I could be so much more. Um, and with that, I started making the decision to, even though I didn't know much about it, I started making the decision to put things into my own hands as far as writing. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I want to write a character that could be a normal person, a doctor, a lawyer, the guy next door, whatever. It doesn't matter the color of my skin. And those stories, that's when I got inspired to start telling stories from the margins or the people who don't have a large voice. So that
Yeah.
turned into writing, and then I wanted to get somebody to direct it, but nobody wanted to get directed. So I jumped into the directing seat and just kind of learned everything on on the job, so to speak. And I got lucky enough to have some great mentors who taught me a few things as well. And with that, I want to continue to grow. So we have a company called Librarian Visions, and it is Latin for free and independent visions, where we create and we tell our own stories from different perspectives. Now, I can't speak for every perspective, but because of that, I get people who can, from, you know, the Black stories to the Latino stories to the LGBTQ plus stories to everything. We want to have voices for the marginalized, and that's one thing that I want to continue to grow. Every production that I work on, I somehow work my company into it. So that is one of my main things, that's going to continue to grow. We're going to create these amazing stories that are going to tell life from perspectives that we never had a chance to see. So that's one thing I'm very passionate about, and I see that continuing to grow bigger and bigger in the next few years. And besides that, just working on my craft. Working on my craft comes from working on my body to training the mind and trying my best to, like you said, work along some of the greats and hold my own and sometimes surpass. So the learning process never ends, but definitely want to be walking that red carpet and clapping it up at the Oscars, within the next 5 years for sure.
Manifestation, that's what it's all about. And
Speaking into
Delicious has a
existence.
question for me.
Mm-hmm.
If you could have anything in the world, what would it be? Well, I love luxury fashion. I love Terry Mugler. I love Chanel. It's not about material things to me. Those things can be like enjoying the fruits of your labor.
Of
But
course.
if I could have anything, it would be to meet Michelle Obama. I would
Mm-hmm.
love her. I think she's classy. I think she is the epitome of elegance. I think she inspires the next generation of women of color, and she's truly touched me. So I would love to just sit with her and have a conversation with her. Someone asked me that question a few days back. They asked me if you could bring back anybody or have a conversation with anybody. My choices were Maya Angelou and Diane Carroll. And yeah, if I could bring someone else back, it would be Nina Simone. I love Nina Simone, her strength and how unapologetic and fearless she was. And I think that's the characteristic that I have that I portray not only just on the show from doing the interviews and speaking out on issues that affect us globally, whether it's in the LGBTQ community or the Black community. But if I could have one thing in the world, it would be to meet Michelle Obama. I don't ask for much. I don't ask for material things. Material things lose their value at the end of the day. So, just time and a good conversation can always be cherished in here and in here. And notice this in stage. This came from the heart. Okay.
I feel that.
Oh, yes, it would be to meet Michelle Obama or either Taraji P. Henson. I see what she's doing with mental health. I speak a lot about mental health and Black people on the show and how we, stay silent when it comes to talking about issues that we go through mentally in the Black community for years. So it would be to either meet Taraji P. Henson or Michelle Obama.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to make you a little jealous, I actually met and worked with Taraji P. Henson on Empire. And she is just as beautiful inside and out in person than you could imagine. So it's going to come. You're speaking into existence. You're going to have that drink with her and get to experience it for yourself as well.
Delicious said I would bring my father back. And yes, that too. I wish I could bring my grandmother back. My grandmother, to see where I'm at right now, she would be so proud. But I know her and my sister, I would bring my sister back too. And my sister just celebrated her birthday on the 29th of June. That's been difficult for my family. So, yeah, if I would, I could. But I know they're looking down on me. And they're just proud. They're smiling. And yes, God smiles. He smiles because you're making him proud and you're making your ancestors, as well as your brothers, your sisters, your grandma, your uncle, whoever's proud. They're looking down on you and they're watching. So definitely have faith. 100%.
Absolutely.
All right, Fashion Dog, we turn the tables. Do we have any questions for Chris here? Looking like Michael Strahan on the screen. I'm pretty sure. What's the weirdest thing that somebody has walked up to you and said? Have they actually thought that you're him?
Somebody's never walked up to me and thought I was him, but I can't, on all my fingers and toes, I can't count the number of times somebody's like, yo, you look like Michael Strahan. Do you play football? Are you his stunt double? Are you his twin? So I've gotten that so many times, and it's, like I said, I'll take it. I'll take it as a great looking dude, but I've gotten some weird things, right? So, so I went to school in Iowa, and well, you know what? This is actually a interesting event that happened, right? So going to school in Iowa, and there's the sorority, they have their formals. So I got invited to one of the formals, right? So we go there, it's great. We're in the pool, it's getting later, and we get into the jacuzzi. We're all hanging, chilling. And these guys are like 6'7", 6'8", like big dudes, right? They come, they climb, they're like, yo, man, can we get in the jacuzzi with you? I'm like, yo, come in. So they come, sit, chill. They're actually very cool. We're all talking. And then he looks at me, he's like, yo, you're from Chicago, right? I'm like, yeah. Chicago people love Chicago. So I'll talk to him about it with everybody. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you want to meet Dennis Rodman? I'm like, say what? I'm like, is this a plot to get me upstairs to take me out? Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. But I'm with other people, too. He's like, yo, all your friends can come, too. So I'm like, all right, cool. We head upstairs, like the 20th floor. They're in the penthouse. And we get into this room. It's a party going on. It's a bunch of people in there. And then Dennis Rodman sitting in the corner. Massive couple guy who knows what in there. Just hanging out. So it turns out that he was playing semi-pro basketball still. And the team that he was on, I don't remember if they were based in Iowa or if they were playing in Iowa at that time. So I got a chance to kind of chill and have a drink with Dennis Rodman, which was one of the highlights of the random people that I've met so far. So that's a very random story that happened to me.
Wow. And oh, there's a question for Delicious. She wants to know, what is your greatest aspiration? Is that for me, Delicious, or Chris?
I think we could both take it on.
Okay.
My biggest aspiration is very much like you. I am big on diversity. Diversity in all mediums, but since film is my focus, I really, really focus on diversity of film. Having people of color, people that look like me, that look like you, on screen. A, yes, telling their stories, but also B, being normal people. You know what I mean? You've got your glam, but then you still go get groceries, right? You still do these
Yeah.
other things. You're a normal person, and that diversity comes not only on screen, because even after the whole the Oscar boycott, things definitely changed, right? Things changed, but they didn't change enough. It's like the basketball players having their advantage, but the team still owned by somebody who doesn't have their best intentions in mind. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how that was. So we were getting more roles, we were getting more auditions, but those producers were not of color. Those people who ran the production companies were not of color. So we still didn't have that control that we're looking for. And it's not necessarily means to control everything, but more so of having people of color as decision makers. And I think that's one of the big things that I'm very passionate about and that I aspire to change.
My biggest aspiration is kind of in the same way where Chris is. Mine will be as a journalist and as a talk show host to continue to having conversations about making change in the world. The more we conversate and talk amongst ourselves and other than just resorting to violence or cussing each other out, just sitting down and having the conversation and talking about it and coming to a resolve and more importantly, a solution. That would be my biggest aspiration. And I know that's something that my grandmother and my sister would want is for me to continue to be that focal point because I wasn't always outspoken. I have a friend in here. I don't know if she's still here. Felicia will tell you I wasn't always that outspoken ever since because we both went to school together. And it took a lot for me to come into my own and to build up. It takes a while to build up confidence. It's not just something that you can just like with hair color. Hair color, you go into the store, you buy a box of hair color and you change your hair color like that. No, when it comes to confidence, it takes time to build it up. And for me, throughout the years, it comes with a lot of just from things that I've experienced throughout my childhood, all the way up throughout high school, through middle school. And I'm just like, okay, because I came out at 13 years old and I came fully into my own as a young woman into high school. Because when I came into high school, I had short platinum blonde hair. I said, okay, the doors is down. We're out the closet doors. I'm stepping up in here. Okay. So new attitude, new hold, new outlook. And that's how Miss Stevie was blossoming throughout the years, you know, just through life experience. And through trials and tribulations, people say, oh, wow, you're very different. There's something different about you. I'm still sweet to an extent, but I've just, you know, it's kind of woke me up to see things in a different light and a different perspective. And not only that, but I'm 27. So I can't do the same things. Well, we have to live with our past and we have to go back and look and just like, okay, you've made some choices, but you kind of got to reflect. And it's always good. I'm a firm believer of self-reflection. So I know this doesn't tie into aspiration, but my biggest aspiration would be to get people to have an open mind. I want you to sit down and have a conversation. Why do you have a hatred towards someone? Why do you have a problem with this person? Try to sit down and not just like a psychiatrist pick their brain. I don't have that kind of power. I love what my girl Mel's Desserts in the audience, she said, I'm not a psychiatrist. And I said it too, I'm not a psychiatrist. Even though I am licensed to do hair, I still can listen to people's story, just their outlook on life, just their outlook on so many different things. And if you need me to be that shoulder to cry on, I can be that. If you need me to be that ear to listen, I can be that. So my biggest aspiration to ball, when it all balls down, is to make change and get people to sit down and have a conversation without just jumping down each other's throats. Because I would do that all the time. And I was bad at it. I had a bad temper when I was 16. Ooh, I'll be ready to fight. I'll be ready to fight. I thought I was so big and bad and I could fight everybody. There's that much, But now that I'm 27, I'm just like, okay, I'm a grown woman now. What I got to be fighting for? And I got what you say. My mama always would tell me this: you got a whole lot to lose and a whole lot to gain. So by you fighting, what is it going to do at the end of the day? You're out here, you're meeting some amazing people. You never know where your blessing lies. You're coming into across so many connections and so many bonds and friendships. So I know it's long-winded, but to keep it down to the point, it will be to mend fences with people and get people to have an open mind. Oh, we got a question. My God, that's dope. Oh, yeah. What's up with your music career? Not sure if you answered that already.
Film for a little bit has superseded it, but now that things are kind of flowing, we got more of a motion with film. I've been dabbling a lot back into music, and I've been threatening to make another project. So I've started the process of people have been sending me different music and getting into writing. So I still do a lot of songwriting, but getting into writing for myself again, which is interesting because I worked on that first album in 2011, 2010, and 2010, yeah, 2010, and now 10 years later, my voice as a writer has changed, and life has changed, all for the better, thankfully, but has all changed since then. So it's been an interesting process finding that voice again, and who I am, at 10 years later, in 2021 in comparison to 2011. So I am in the writing process. People listen to music, and we're just going to kind of see what comes of it. Put it together piece by piece, but hopefully by this time next year, maybe a little bit sooner, we'll have an EP out there.
All right, Fashion Dolls, any more questions for Chris or myself before we conclude this interview? Giving you guys a heads up, coming up next, we have Marcus. I keep thinking about Michael Strand. He looks just like him. Okay, we have Marcus, who is a chef, and he has his own podcast and platform. He is going to be dishing the topics with us all throughout the rest of this week until the 9th, and he's coming up next. And on the topics list today, ladies and gentlemen, we have rapper The Baby. We're going to be talking about August Alsina, Biz Markie, The Weeknd. We're also going to be talking about 50 Cent, Kid Cudi, DJ Academics, and so much more. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Do we have any more questions before we conclude this amazing conversation with Chris? I can't believe I just called him Mike. I just can't.
I won't tell anybody.
Forgive me, y'all. Forgive me, y'all. Forgive me. All right. Last call for questions. If not, let everyone know where they can follow you, where they can support your projects, because I would love to bring you back on again.
Definitely. You can find me on Instagram as Christopher J. Love. You can find me on Twitter as the same handle, and then you can find the company because we're about to start throwing out some projects. Within the next couple of weeks, we worked on a crazy music video called Queen, which is a narrative-based. I have my good friend and colleague Andre Von Gibson. He is who you should definitely have on the show as well. He is a spoken word artist, and he came to me with this piece, and he's just like, "Hey, I got this piece, and I got this idea. Can we make it happen?" And fast forward to now, the video is in the last parts of coloring, and we'll be probably showing it off in the next few weeks. So but that would be on I'll be showing off on mine too, but that my company also has a page that's at Librarian Visions. Librarian is spelled Liberium Visions, and that's on Instagram as well. Same handle across all platforms.
All right, Mel's Dessert says she's following. Shout outs to Mel's Dessert, Black-owned business all the way in the UK. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you love candy, you guys will love her delicious lollipops. She has them in watermelon. She has coconut with the coconut pieces on the inside. She has cotton candy, and my favorite, which is mango and vodka mix. So make sure you guys go and check that out.
No, you got to send some of that to me.
And she also bakes cake, but for shipping to the USA, it can be kind of slow. So
Uh-huh.
just DM her for more information. But she asked the question, what is your self-care routine?
Oh, so I do this thing called Selfish Sundays, right? Where every week you have, I allow myself one day to say yes to whatever I want, but also say no to whatever I want. If I want to wake up on Sunday at 11 a.m., I'm going to do that. If I want to get up and be active and hike, I'm going to do that. I allow myself that day. It's almost like a mental reset day every week to prepare myself, because the week is always changing and it's challenging. So it takes a lot of mental energy. And like you spoke before, it's kind of taboo, especially for Black men and Black women, to talk about mental health and to put
Oh, yeah.
mental health as a priority. So that's one thing that I do, and a lot of light was shed on it when my sister is a therapist, and just her passion for it and seeing the changes that she makes in other people's lives, it inspired me to really take care of myself as well. So doing that, and then skincare. You gotta take care of your skin. I got a skin routine I do every night. You know, black don't crack unless you get on it, but you know, we're not trying to help it along. So I gotta have a good skincare regimen too. But no, Selfish Sundays. I am copywriting that. That's a thing. You can use it. But that's what I do every week to have a nice mental reset.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Any last minute questions before we conclude this interview? Again, 4 p.m. we have Marcus. He is going to be helping me dish the topics. Make sure you guys tune in for that. And all three co-hosts will be back this Saturday, tomorrow. So it's going to be me, EJ, and Johnny. And next week is going to be me, Johnny, and Marcus. And then EJ will be back, and then Johnny will be back. Johnny's had a fashion show today, so he can't be with us. So send him much love and support 100%. But any last questions before we conclude this amazing conversation here? I had such a great time. This is an
Same
amazing
here.
conversation.
Gotta do it again.
Amazing interview. Yes, definitely. We got to set something up. And be sure to send me your page so that I can follow that one as well, too, with your production
Definitely.
company.
I will send it. For sure. For sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't have any other further questions, I will see you guys again at 4 p.m. coming up. With Marcus, we're going to be dishing the topics and more. So make sure you guys tune in again at 4 p.m. But much love and success to our very handsome guest today, Chris J. Love. Make sure you guys go and support all of his projects, support everything Black owned. Special thanks goes to our sponsor. For my ladies, in the words of my girl, Meg Thee Stallion, it's a hot girl summer. And y'all know I live for a beat face and some laid hair. So y'all better go shop with Exclusive Beauty all the way in South Carolina and more. Be sure to follow them on Instagram, and I'll see you guys again at 4. And you take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll do it again.
You too. Take care.
Have a good one.